Hi friends, I'm host Eric. Live streaming again. Tried to go to bed, couldn't sleep. Got up, did something I really needed to do before I started the stream. And then when I took out the trash cans, trash gets picked up on Mondays. And last Sunday I forgot to take out the trash cans on Sunday night. So we've got 2 weeks of trash in the trash cans, and pretty important I made it up to the curb with them before morning. And I did, and I deserve a prize for that. But it's also the case that I'm unreasonably awake for no particularly good reason. And additionally, that I'm not especially likely to find being awake fun right now. But I could try to make it more fun, in theory, with a little bit of effort, a little bit of luck, and just a sprinkling of angel magic. It could make being awake a little bit more fun. Should we give it a try? We could. I'll need to get some beverage and stuff to make that happen if I'm going to do that. It sounds fun-ish. But it also sounds like it's a little bit on the late side to be doing that. If I do that, I'll be up till 7 in the morning. But I might be up that long anyways, you know. So I have to think about it, I guess, a little bit more. Do I really want to take any mushrooms? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Hi, Admiral Mighty Buffoon. Yes. So, let's get a beverage which will function as a mushroom consumption assistant, because they're so disgusting to consume otherwise, you know. Let's go with this Lime Ricky as a chaser. Yeah. You got some Southern Comfort, huh? Yeah, well, if I could drink alcohol, it is true that would put me to sleep. But I can't drink alcohol anymore. And I don't actually have any poop in me at the moment. I thought I was going to be able to go to bed. I even took a couple gabapentin and lay down and either tossed or turned or both. I'm not sure. All right, so are you okay, Blueberries? I'm worried about you. My intuition was right. Of course I'm okay. Why wouldn't I be okay? He's the smooth grundulator. Smooth grundulator. Coast to coast grundle to Chicago. Eric's brain is stuck in the on mode. That's true. Probably the best explanation for why I'm awake. Good as any other, anyway. Alright, well, I've selected my mushrooms to consume here. I'm going to try to consume them as painlessly as possible, obviously. It's not always a straightforward piece of business, but I'll give it a shot. Okay. And here we go. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but the thing is, if I'm going to do that, I have to do that at the start, right? Because I have to decide to live stream via Google Meet so that people can join me. Once I've started it, it's pretty much always too late for that, then, you know. A glass of wine on Easter Island, huh? I did it. I ate those horrible, disgusting things. Yeah, I did it. Okay, good. So we're going to let those kick in, and that's going to change my mental state somewhat. Hi, Jason Gamer. How are you tonight? Are you gaming or are you watching YouTube? Because if you're watching YouTube, really, shouldn't you be gaming? You're letting valuable gaming time go to waste. Okay. Well, I can already feel myself chilling out a little bit, getting a little bit less over the top in my brain-onedness. JK, hey man. Hey, Gustavo Carrillo Lopez, also known as Kermit the Frog. Do tell me, is it easy being green? It seems like it would be, but I've heard no. Just doing the thug shake here to help everybody out a little bit. You prefer to be the color orange, like my glasses. You Nazit man? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that Shibidi, yeah. Heard a balloon? Oh, you mean, am I nitrous oxiding? No. I used to do lots and lots of whippets. I didn't even bother with a balloon, right? I had one of the whippet dispensing machines. We did so many whippets that I gave myself neuropathy. So I don't do whippets anymore. I loved them. That's why I did so many of them. But, you know, sometimes you have to say goodbye to some of your preferred substances. And that's one I had to say goodbye to. If you really binge it hard for a while, yes, I do, indeed. That's probably what you heard. I used this torch to pull rips. It's 142. I'm here in Cali. I'm also in Cali. I'm in the Yosemite area. I'm about an hour and a half from Fresno, hour and a half from Merced, 3 hours from San Jose Bay Area, 3 hours from Sacramento, 5 hours from LA, right smack in the middle of Cali. But you're in Compton. Just because you're from the CPT, punk police are afraid of me. You'd think they'd be afraid of you, but because you're from the CPT, punk police are afraid of me. I'm not sure how it works either. I spent most of my life in LA. That's a bit of a drive. Compton to Santa Ana? Ah, Jesus. What a commute. I hope you're going against traffic at least. What, do you go up to the 10 and then down to 57 or what? You love the commute? I love LA too. I mean, I'm glad to be out of it, but I moved up here a little bit more than a year ago, so still settling in really. Actually, 710 south to 15 east, then 605 north. Okay. You were born in East LA, huh? Right on. My first wife lived in Monterey Park, which is basically East LA, you know. But then moved right over to Compton. Everybody screaming Compton, I should probably run for mayor. Name that tune, anybody? Anybody want to name that tune? It's in which the rap singer says, everybody screaming Compton, I should probably run for mayor. It's a good one. It's a good track. It is from, I'll tell you the answer, King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar. King Kunta. Yep. I got a bone to pick. Monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again. I'm mad, but I ain't stressed. It's a good track. True friends. I think maybe that's Kendrick Lamar's best song, but uh, "Humble" is also a really good song too. You grow on the east side of Compton. I don't know. I don't know much about Compton really, like different parts of it or whatever. It's a place I never went to. Like, why did I need to go to Compton for? A place I drove past on occasion. I may have inched into Compton back in the day when I was a teenager. I would go down to that general area to buy weed. But that was back when you drove to a certain street in a certain area, and then people would come out to your car. What do you need? You're in the crib section, huh? Well, I can't do a crip walk, but what I can do, what I like to call a crip saunter. It's like a crip walk, but without the limping. Oh my God, is that the actor from Sisu? Um, is it talking about somebody behind me? A guy in Compton told me Courtney Love had her old man taken out, but not to lunch. I agree with that assessment of what happened there with Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain. I find her somehow responsible for the whole thing. It's just my intuition, I don't have any proof, obviously, that Courtney Love did it, but that's what I intuit with my intuiting bone. Anyway, I do think it's important to remember that just because I'm from the CPT, punk police are afraid of me. So put down your badge and your gun, and now what? We'll go at it, punk, and I'ma fuck you up, says Ren. I think he means he plans to use some kind of physical violence. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, I'm always doing YouTube. Thank you, Aswin, for subscribing. I appreciate it. One of these days here, in not a super long time, I'm actually going to get to 10,000 subscribers, which I was doubtful if it would ever happen back when I was stuck on 8,000 and some subs for God knows how long. Express yourself. Do. Express yourself. Well, a non-NWA song of predating NWA by a little bit that I like to sing goes like this. MCMI people call me Milk. When I try to do the dance to get knocked out. It's pretty good. It's called Top Billin' by Audio 2. Audio 2, toot the audio. As far as new rappers go, I like Prof pretty well. He's pretty good. I think that I don't even know how to say his name. It's like $$ something something. He's one of the guys on Edamame, which is a fantastic song. Poppy like a pea edamame. What's his name? BBNO dollar sign. How do you even say that? Babenos? How do you even say BBNO dollar sign? What kind of a name is that? That guy's really kick ass, though. I like him. He's good. I wish I knew how to say his name. Uh, did they really change the music industry at the time with having to establish the first album to implement the parental advisory sticker? Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, BB. Let me look it up again. I don't know those two, Dax or Run the Jewels. But in general, I don't really like rappers, you know. I like you left out an O in the spelling of it. It's BBNO dollar sign. That's the guy's name. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link to Edamame for anybody who hasn't heard it yet. It's a really spectacular song. I heard Run the Jewels are like gringo hop artist. Well, you want to listen to a slamming track? Check out that song right there, Edamame. Uh, do you like Falling in Reverse? Good song. Watch the World Burn. I don't know those songs. Or one of them is a song by a band called Falling in Reverse. I see. I'll have to listen to it at some point. Never heard it. Rap metal and metal? I'm not a huge metal fan, to be honest. But occasionally, you know, I'm a fan of good tracks. If something's good, it's good. Doesn't matter what it's is. Yeah, I mean, you cannot even listen to Edamame without immediately starting to dance. All right, I tell you what. Let me mute for a second so I can listen to a minute of it. Okay, it's not bad. It's uh it's very interested in displaying its like acrobatics and stuff, you know. It's not a bad song recommendation though, I'll say for sure. Uh Admiral Mighty Buffoon. Vaseline was the biggest. Satanic Panic by Bleed the Wicked Menace. You want me to listen to that? Satanic Panic by Bleed the Wicked Menace? It sounds like a lot of metally stuff, you know. The problem I have with that last song I listened to was basically like Okay. Thematically, you're just rehashing Eminem. And acrobatically, I'm not impressed with your rapping chops. The lyrics aren't good, I don't think. The production on the song is good. It does some like sudden change shit that's interesting, but it's not at a high enough level of goodness, ultimately. No, sorry, terrible. Maybe not quite terrible, but pretty bad. I'm looking for a specific song here to link to you that's better than those songs that you linked me. Because you've made a mistake, I'm afraid. And you've given me a less than ideal song. Okay? Hmm. Actually having trouble finding the exact track I want to link to. Was it by him or by somebody else? I'm not sure. But I do know that this is a good song. I will link it for you. Even though I don't really love the lyrics to this song because they're, like, I'm such a big pimp kind of lyrics, which is not my favorite kind of lyrics. But here you go anyway. This song is very good. The new rapper, newish. Of course, you can't really it's very difficult to make a good rap album, right? Like, okay. Admiral Mighty Buffoon, I'm familiar with the Mentors. All right. I was listening to the Mentors way, way, way a long time ago. Uh, well, there's just one person here, so everybody said, "See you later, Eric. You're taking too long." In fact, when I was in Hawaii, I saw a guy with maybe the coolest shirt I've ever seen. Which said, what's the main guy in the Mentor's name? Gigi Allen. Gigi Allen was right. It's on his shirt. It's just in small, really small letters right in the middle of the shirt. Gigi Allen was right. I'm like, oh my God. all praise is due. Your shirt is right now winning like every cool in this contest. The orange glasses, I fuck with them. I only have these orange glasses out right now because I am not being able to find my other glasses because they've disappeared. They've run off and married some third pair of glasses, I suppose. And one of the reasons I got this pair of glasses in the first place is because I wanted a pair of glasses that stood out against, well, this black furniture. My other pairs of glasses are all black and they just blend in with these chairs. But thanks to the miracle of orange, I no longer have to concern myself with that. Potato Chip song by Slim Gallard. Well, I'm not listening to songs at the moment, but what I am doing is going outside for a health tube. No one's ever told me that I resemble Tommy Chong. People have told me I look a little bit like Helen of Troy. People have said I look a little bit like GQ magazine guy. Sure, I hear that a lot. People sometimes say to me, Eric, you look just like a dream I never even wished I had. But not Tommy Chong, no. At the moment, I feel like I look like what I feel like, which is maybe 15% more mushroomy than I was, say, half an hour ago. With some, I think, reasonable hope and expectation that I might get even more mushroomy than that. It feels good, actually. It's kicking in. I mean, shit, it isn't like I'm surprised, really, but sometimes it makes me feel a little unsettled. At the moment, it just feels like my body's kind of relaxing. And hopefully, my hair will follow. I am so tired of using strong chemical relaxers on my hair to make it straight. That's why I've just decided to start talking my hair into relaxing. Hey there. Why don't you just lie down flat on the head? Of course, I don't have very much hair left. Just, I think, 4 hairs. 4 hairs and a fifth that's pretending to be a hair. I think I may have another poop in me. I do feel some poop moving through my body. Like a giant clam settling on the bottom of the ocean. That seems to be the correct analogy. So anyway, I guess in this darkness, it's safe to use my health tubes. Can't really see anything except an occasional little red light. It just tells you my health tube is on and functioning properly. Well, I'm so proud of myself. I got all 4 trash cans up to the street before morning. That's why they give me the Nobel Prize for home ownership. It's cold out here, but not that cold. I mean, I'm dressed for the weather at this point. I need to take those trash cans up. I put on sweats over my jeans. I got 2 jackets on, woolen hat, good to go. Changed out of my boots, so my feet are a little chilly, but I got socks on still. Okay, well, let's go do our bathroom business. Because I feel that bathroom business become increasingly pressing by the moment. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there? It's just Boba Fett who's in there. He knows how it goes. When you get a poop the size of Judy Garland's left breast, as I currently do, which was, of course, the slightly larger breast for her. Well, that means it's time to visit the restaurant. You don't want to keep that poop around any longer than necessary. It's not doing you any good up in there. Some people think by holding their poop, they're encouraging it to do repairs on their organs. Not true. Poop cannot repair a damaged organ. If it could, we wouldn't need things like liver transplants, you know? We'd just rub poop on them. But I guess that'd be making it too easy for the doctor business. Well, I'm getting a few mushroom yawns. It's to be expected. It's a very serotonin-y plant. I got it from the Church of Ethnopogenic Plants or something like that. It's a sacrament. So, nobody think I'm like taking drugs or whatever. I wouldn't do that, okay? Ah. Ah. You know what they say, one man's urine is another man's treasure. I wonder for whom my urine is their treasure. If Bob Barker were still alive, I would guess it was Bob Barker. And if he were dead, but Vin Scully were still alive, then I'd guess Vin Scully's second. Unfortunately, they're both dead, so I'm gonna have to guess Chai Chai Rodriguez. Hmm. Well, I feel a little bit like 48 cents in a bucket of worms, which is valued at substantially less than $1 million. But I don't feel sick, nauseous, or whatever. So that's good. I just feel tired, tore up. Um, Not really inclined to be up, but not able really to go to sleep. I have taken a little mushrooms, so I'm even less likely to be able to go to sleep. Although it depends. Sometimes mushrooms make you very sleepy. I actually did not poop. It wasn't really ready. I just ended up peeing. You can't tell your poop what time it is to come out, you know? You have to let it tell you. Now is the time, Eric. Now is the time for you to come out. They never send water up to the space station? Are you sure about that? They must send water up there sometimes. Otherwise, how do the people on the space station drink water? Hmm? Or what do they drink instead? Do they just drink milk? The only thing astronauts are allowed to drink is milk. I see, you mean all the new water they get in the space station is recycled urine? That's so gross. I don't want to drink space station water at all, knowing that it used to be pee. 4 a.m. is my drop time. If that's the case, I got another hour 45 till I poo. The U.S. side of the space station used to trade spare energy to the Russian side for spare urine. I don't want to hear any more about how grossness is. I guess I did ask the question about one man's treasure being my urine. Well, if I known there was a market for it, I would sell my urine to the space station. I just got to get it up there somehow. I'm thinking if I get a balloon, a helium balloon, and just tie bags of urine to the bottom of it, time it right. You know, just gotta let it go at the right moment. Hopefully, it'll get to the space station. Then they can put they can put the money back on the bottom of the balloon, plus a couple of rocks to make it a little heavier, and then it'll go down to me again. If you just wait for the right moment to drop it again. You gotta really time it precisely, or else it'll land in the wrong spot. Fisheye lenses that fake the curvature of our flat planet. Oh, good. Yeah. I don't blame them for faking the curvature of our flat planet because, we have to maintain the lie that we're on a globe. Otherwise, people will know the truth that we're on a disc and they'll start asking questions. Like, hey, where's the edge? It's a cube. Oh, well, that makes sense. I personally think it's bumpy. I find it quite bumpy, not very flat. I have to drive up these hills just to get to my house. We live on one of the bumps. But even the parts are really quite bumpy. The Earth may not be flat, but the Milky Way galaxy is. In fact, if you enlarge the piece of paper to the size of the Milky Way galaxy, the paper would be far thicker. Well, but then the paper would cover the entire width and breadth of the Milky Way galaxy, whereas the analog to that is matter that only comprises a tiny fraction of the total space in the galaxy. So that's not, you're comparing papers to oranges. You can't compare papers and oranges, Jonathan Earl. I mean, you can, but one of them will always be better than the other depending on your purpose. Well, okay, I'm sure it is thinner than a piece of paper. That's why I don't go there. I'm too tall. I can't fit. They're like, you're way too tall, Eric. You need to fit in this little spot as thin as a piece of paper. Like, I get scrunched down. Like, forget it. Forget it. Mars is so flat. Mars is the flattest of all the planets, I think. Astronauts, are they lactose intolerant? No, actually, Gustavo Carrillo. One of the reasons why they require on each trip to the International Space Station one of the astronauts to be a lactating woman is that they actually drink nothing but breast milk up there. That way they don't have to worry about getting around the space station or whatever. They just drink it straight from the teat. That way they don't have to drink urine water. I'm 6'5", or 6'4.5" at this point. I've shrunk a bit. In my younger days, I was a full 6'5". I'm so lactose intolerant that I use a lot of lactose hate speech. Get some inversion therapy? You mean like hang upside down? No, thank you. I don't like being jostled. So I think that's a good solution actually for the space station to get beverages and to be an equal opportunity employer. They should have on staff at the space station. Obviously they have to change her up periodically with another one, but they should have a wet nurse. Think about how convenient it is. It's the most efficient technological solution to dispensing liquids into the space station where there's no gravity, right? You can't do better than a human breast for that purpose. There's a sign up at the space station. No pulling out in zero gravity allowed. Somebody ignores the sign and everyone's just like, ew! Oh my God, there's cum drops floating all around. What do you think about all the rain that has happened here recently in California? I think it's great. You know, like most Californians, I'm always in favor of more water. We're going to get another storm coming this weekend, upcoming weekend, according to the weather people, anyway. You know, they're not necessarily the most reliable predictors in the world. With their so called computers. And talk about an irresponsible bunch. I've never heard a single meteorologist tell me about meteors. Aliens are probably just robots from other planets. Well, that's possible. You think maybe from like Saturn? Or you thinking someplace further away than that? Like Centurion 4 or whatever. US West Coast hardly ever gets storms. Well, we've gotten quite a few of them this season. You know, not all of them have been highly productive in terms of precipitation, but this most recent one dropped a fair amount of snow. Hopefully, we won't get more snow in the next storm. I'm not a huge fan of getting a lot of snow. I like to get a little bit of snow, or snow that melts quickly or whatever, because it can interfere with my driving abilities. Not my ability to drive the car, but the car's ability to get out of the driveway without me putting chains on. Just to get out of the driveway, just so you can take them off again. It's annoying. But my Mini Cooper, which is the car we have, is poorly designed for snow. Just not a great snow car. You can make it work, sort of, but it's kind of a nightmare. Got that low clearance, you know. Did you hear about the lady who got stuck up on Baldy, drove off the road, and spent 5 days in her car? No, I didn't hear about it. Must taste like shit. I've tasted it before, actually. Uh, it was kind of gamey. You wouldn't want to drink it. We have babies like it, but that's why we drink cow's milk instead. If breast milk tasted good, we have women working at dairy farms attached to breast pumps so that everybody could drink it. But instead, it's like lamb. Yeah, it's easy to keep a herd of sheep. Why? Because they don't taste very good. Even the predators are like, nah, I don't want to eat a sheep. They're not that good. Can I get a cow, please? Or a pig? Chicken, maybe? Fine, I guess I'll eat a sheep. Every time I eat a sheep, I spend weeks pulling the wool out of my teeth. I don't like lamb. It's too gamey. Too gamey. Remember, lamb is this close to mutton, and mutton is this close to ew. Feeling pretty mushroomy. And not like hyper mushroomy, but like kind of chill mushroomy. It's kind of nice. Lizzie Borden used to eat mutton soup. Got her in the mood. Right. Well, if you had to eat mutton soup, it put anybody in the mood to moida. Would you like a bowl of mutton soup? Would you like me to punch you in the face? We eat chicken breasts even though they don't produce any milk. Why do they even have breasts, you might wonder? Good question, Gustavo Carrillo Lopez. Um, the answer is they're not really breasts. They're just the chicken's chest. We call them chicken breasts, but they're not breasts. They're just chests. We should call them that, you know. Boneless, skinless chicken chests. That's what they are. I mean, it sounds funny, but it should sound funny to call them chicken breasts. The chickens don't have breasts. Mammals have breasts. Chickens just have chests. Like, why would we afford the wonderful world of boobs to chickens anyway? Let's reserve those words for actual boobs. Have you ever had cow tongue? Lingua? Yeah. Lingua from a good taco truck is fine. Tastes good. It's quite good, actually, lingua. But it just sounds a little gross, but it's fine. You just get it in a taco, you don't look at it, you know. Polish chickens have the biggest breasts. Are they also the worst at screwing in light bulbs? Um, what I don't like, but I've also had before, is tripe and menudo, you know. I'd rather have, it's called pasado or whatever, the chicken variety of menudo. When I used to drink, though, it is true that menudo is the single best hangover remedy there is. If you are hungover, best thing you can do is force yourself to eat some menudo. You might even puke it up afterwards, but it'll make you feel better somehow. It's like you're punishing yourself by eating tripe. There, body, since you insisted on drinking all this alcohol last night, now you have to eat cow intestine. Oxtail is just buffed up cow. I mean, somehow menudo makes cow intestine taste fine, but you don't want to actually eat a pozole. Is that what it's called? Yeah, pozole. But of course, by and large, at any choose your meat taco truck, I'm going carnitas. I'm just gonna go carnitas every time, pretty much. Yeah, ling was good. Sure, shredded beef is fine. Chicken's fine, whatever. But you got to go carnitas. I'm sorry. It's just, it's your consistently your best meat choice at any taco truck. Of course, if you're going to taco truck, you need to get a Mexican Coke with it in the bottle. was the only acceptable beverage for taco truck carnitas tacos. You need to get like six of them because you think, don't think like Taco Bell size taco, right? They use these little corn tortillas. Too fatty? No, there's no such thing as too fatty. There's only too leany. Things can definitely be too leany. Like here in California, there's a strange fascination with tri-tip, which is a very lean cut of meat, and it's not very delicious. I don't think. I mean, people can successfully make it delicious. You got to do a lot to it, right? Whereas you got a ribeye or something nice and fatty, you just got to cook it a little bit on both sides, and yeah, there you go. Birria from goat meat. Now that is real birria traditionally. I don't know what birria is. Goat meat something? But well, my first wife was the daughter of a lady from Michoacan and a guy from West Virginia. And the lady from Michoacan, her name was Soledad. Uh, I refer to her, however, as Abuelita because once we had a child, she became Delilah's Abuelita. You know, she didn't make a ton of Mexican food, but when she did, it was okay. She had certain good Mexican food dishes, but she wasn't a great cook, really. Like the taco truck people, they just do a better job than most people do. Carnitas adobada is the best. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love tri-tip, but for some reason I do not like carnitas. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love tri. You must be using voice to text. That happens to me when I'm using voice to text as well. Uh, I mean, I think a lot of times they might even use tri-tip in carne asada. Carne asada is really good. Carne asada is like just okay. How much more of this is there? Because I'm gonna eat it all. Anything cooked in adobo sauce is awesome. Do you mean adobe men like gods? You know they put poop in adobe, right? You can't eat that. What's with ESFPs and wearing their caps backwards? The girls from Michoacan got big nipples. I'll tell you that NFE don't got big nipples. They got nice, firm, round boobs. What's NFE? Not from England? You say people who are not from England don't have big nipples. Well, this is interesting information, Gustavo. I'm pleased that you're sharing it with me. I love my abuelita. She's my only love aside from my mom and brother and grandpa. Well, yeah, I think you were a little hasty in using the word only. And you should have waited till you got to the end of the list before deciding whether it was only one person. Anyway, my second wife, she was Mexican from two Mexican American Mexicans who lived in Baldwin Park. So my first wife was half Mexican. My second wife was all Mexican, but like the whitest Mexicans ever. Super, super. I mean, like they both worked in kind of blue collarish jobs, but But like, like Candace's mom likes to make candles, scented candles and stuff. Very ESFJ. Medium, yeah. Hi, still in ya and still in your. Still in your body and still in your heart. Carne asada can be made by anyone in English. Translates to grilled meat. Is that what it translates to? Is that what asada means? There's a certain sauce. Like, you always have a choice, right? You got a choice and you got a consideration to make. Do you want to go to the carniceria to get your carne asada? And if you do, are you going to try to tell them, don't put too much juice in it because the juice weighs a lot. That's the thing. How much juice they put in your carne asada bag, I think maybe correlates directly to how much of a gringo you are. The more of a gringo you are, the more juice they put in your carne asada bag. Because you're paying dollars per pound for carne asada meat, right? But sometimes, depending on which carniceria you go to and which Mexican butcher you got, sometimes they'll put a lot of juice in your carne asada bag. And then you're like, oh, I'm married, Gustavo Carrillo Lopez. I'm not looking for anything but my beautiful wife, whom I love very, very much. But I am very interested in talking about this phenomenon of juice pudding in your carne asada bag. Okay. If you go to the carniceria to get your carne asada, which is the best place to get it, right? You don't want to get it like Vaughn's carne asada or whatever. It's not going to be as good. So you go to the carniceria for it, and you go to the counter, and you say to the guy, "Can I get like 5 pounds of that carne asada?" Let's say it's like $5 a pound, right? Well, 5 pounds of carne asada could be like this much meat, or it could be like this much meat and this much juice. So, well, what's the sauce they put on carne asada then? Isn't it asada sauce? I always assumed it was, but I just want to make sure that nobody walks away from this and and doesn't learn the juice lesson. Okay, so at least you tell them, "Can I have less juice, please?" And then pour a little bit of the juice out. You're paying meat prices for juice. Chorizo's fantastic if you want bomb flavor and stomach issues. I don't find it good stomach issues, but I'm just not that frequently. I just don't eat very frequently. It's a little spicy for me. I liked more spicy food more when I was younger. My digestive system is a little bit more fussy nowadays than I guess when I was younger. Or maybe I'm just more wimpy. I'm not sure. Could be that I'm just more wimpy. Carne asada marinade. What's the mom's called? Carne asada juice. You're in a 7-year relationship with a half black, half Mexican, huh? A Blexican. And it is wonderful, you say. It's everything you always dreamed of. Someday you said to yourself, I'm going to marry a Blexican. And it's going to make my day. Well, one thing that kind of bugs me about Rachel is she's just a regular old white person. It's like, Get the right race already. Be, I don't know, Chinese or something. God, people are gonna think I'm racist. Many times people will come up to me and say, "What, you only date within your own race? Racist?" And I just go, helplessly, I have nothing I can say. Grilled meat. That's funny. The carne asada just means grilled meat. I mean, I knew carne meat, but I assumed asada referred to the sauce or something. Ooh, can I have some of that carne asada? That sounds exotic. What special thing is it? Grilled meat. Oh. I take that back. Maybe it's not so special. If you're a true Los Angelino, then you have a specific carniceria that you believe has the best carne asada. Because obviously you have to go to a Mexican store to get Mexican food. Done properly, You probably also have a preferred Korean barbecue place. I like Korean barbecue a lot. I wish we had a Korean barbecue around here. The thing about it is, there's nothing barbecue about it. I don't know why they have the word barbecue, Korean barbecue. There's zero barbecuery involved. It's got the least amount of barbecue of anything I can imagine. It's like, what makes it barbecue? That they cook it? If you cook something at your table, it becomes barbecue? That's ridiculous. It's not Korean barbecue. It's Korean cook it yourself. That's what you call it. Korean cook it yourself. Where do they get off calling that barbecue, though? It's ridiculous. It's not barbecue. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty mushroomy. Or at least more mushroomy than not mushroomy at all. I feel a little bit like a weeble wobble. Well, those pesky Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl again. I'm sure Taylor Swift is very happy. Probably some other people were happy too. But they don't matter nearly as much as Taylor Swift does. Other people don't get cutaways from the TV, but TV saying, here, I don't like carnicerias because they overcharge for lousy cuts of meat. Well, if you make your own marinade, then that's fine. But if you are not going to make your own marinade, you can't just get meat. You have to get the carne asada is pre-done for you. Yeah, we got good meat here in Mariposa. I haven't tried much Korean apart from egg fried rice and kimchi. Nothing better than paying an arm and a leg to make your own amazing meal amazing. Right. Well, nowadays we don't do a lot of cooking. We mostly just eat frozen dinners. And in fact, we're so lazy that I really, make a point of refusing to buy any frozen dinner that makes me stop partway, stir it, and put it back in. I just refuse to do that. It's like, okay, you need to design your microwave dinner better. Why are you making me do this extra step? The reason I want a microwave dinner at all is because it's convenient, not because I want to take it out, stir it, put it back in. I don't want to cook, right? That's cooking stuff. That's why I'm making a microwave dinner. So you just have one step. That's all the number of steps you're allowed. Yeah, it's possible to, but it's not possible to right now because I already started it. The only way that happens is if I start it with the intention of having other people come talk to me, which sometimes I do every once in a while, but after I started, I can't change the format of it because I need to, to live stream like that, I need to live stream directly from Google Meet, which I didn't start this one from there, and so, you know, I could bring you onto Google Meet, just talk to you like that. I could put a Google Meet link over here. What's making that sound? Oh, it's this. This is making a carbonation sound. The thing is, the problem with this plan is I need to set some. I still have to set stuff up. I'm too much for me to set it up right now. So we're just gonna nix that mission for the moment, but sure it's possible. Yeah, well, I make a pretty great pizza. I'm good at cooking what I cook. I just don't cook very many different things. Yeah, I make a pretty good fried sausage too. No, I don't think I can turn this drink into a health tube. Do I like Marie Callender's microwave pot pies? We don't get them. It's possible because they have more than one step, but even if they do have just one step, for whatever reason, we don't get them. Pot pies are a good thing to get because generally they have one step, but for some reason, we don't usually get them. Like in the freezer right now, we got burritos, chimichangas, actually, frozen chimichangas. We've got sweet and sour chickens. We've got chicken parmesan lasagna. And that's it. Those are the ones that are convenient and good. And we also have things I could cook, like we have some frozen sausages, we have some frozen hamburger patties. But we try not to buy perishable food. I never know when we're going to feel like eating that thing. So perishable food is just like keep me cold so you throw me away. I feel like mushroomy Marlowe. The man who was on mushrooms. We'll say I feel a little discombobulated from him maybe, but that's fine. I might just even try going to bed on mushrooms. I don't know. I feel really tired all of a sudden. Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna go lie down for a while. Maybe I'll take you into the bedroom with me, and we'll see if maybe I'll tell a little bedtime story, and then maybe fall asleep. Who knows? Let's find out. Let's go into the bedroom, also known as the land of sleeping. See what happens. See if we sleep. What do you think? What do you bet? You bet that we sleep or that we don't sleep? Those are your two choices. It's a coin flip, really. Assuming both likelihoods are equal, but I would say in every instance, both likelihoods are not going to be equal, including this instance. So keep that in mind when placing your bets. Okay. Well, I've got kind of a lot of overclothes to take off because I was dressed for the outside. I had to take the trash out up to the street, you know. I got sweats on over my pants. Take those off. I want you to see me in my bone huggers. Then I'll take this jacket off. Okay. Now we're really getting ready for bed. I cover myself with these covers. Then I'll turn so you can see me again. And you'll be excited by that. Oh, wonderful bread. You can see how comfortable it is to be here in bread. Makes you want to sleep in bread too, huh? You have to have your own bread. This bread is mine. Oh, this is called the wonderful power of sleeping. Or the rise. All right, you want me to tell you a bedtime story? I will. Once upon a time, there was a guy named Jard. Jard was his name. Was his first name. And his last name was Binkles. Binkles. Jared Binkles. And he was the only child of the Binkles family. They lived in Dayton, Ohio. Charles and Helen Binkles gave birth late. She was kind of a miracle baby. She was in her early 40s. They weren't sure if they were going to have a kid at that point. They wanted to. They've been trying for years. But finally, God blessed them with a child named Jard. They decided to name him Jard because the mom wanted to name him Jerry, and the dad wanted to name him Dard. So they compromised on Jard. Anyway, early on, they could tell that Jard was a special boy. He had different powers and stuff than other people, it seemed like. For example, any time somebody would go up to Jard and startle him, Jard would give the person this hard look. The look in his eyes was so sharp and scary that the person would run away. Well, if you didn't startle him, catch him off guard, he'd never show you that expression. He just seemed like a sweet little boy. But his parents worried. And he had this other power too. Sometimes when he touched a plant, it would die all of a sudden. But most of the time, not so much. Also, he didn't like candy. That worried his parents because kids are supposed to like candy. So anyway, one day when Jared was like 7 years old, he said to himself and to the demon possessing him, "You know what? Let's go. My parents, they're onto us. They think there's something wrong with me just because I'm possessed partially by a demon. But you and I have been hanging out in this one body for quite some time now. I feel comfortable with you. You feel comfortable with me. We know each other's ways. I don't have to clean up after you. And I don't want them to exorcise you from me with a priest or whatever." At this point, the demon, whose name was uh, Georgianne, she was a female demon actually. She said, "Oh, Jard, being a demon inside of you is the best. These have been the best years of my life. I spent many thousands of years possessing different people, but you have been the best. And, I love the fact that you respect the fact that I don't like candy." And Jared said, "Yeah, well, it's a compromise. You don't like candy, and I don't like, murdering people and stuff. And so we have to reach a compromise. I won't eat candy, and also you won't make me murder anybody." "I know, it's a wonderful deal. I'm just wondering though, if maybe we could murder some people." And Jared said, "No, listen here, Georgianne. You need to stop with your bloodlust. I've had it." At that moment, Jared's parents walk in and they see him talking to himself like that. And they say, "Okay, Jared, that's it. We're taking you to see a specialist." He's like, "Oh, geez, I was just about to run away, too." And Georgianne says to him, but of course his parents can't hear, "Well, now you've done it. You've taken too long to make a decision, and now you're going to have to kill him." "I'm not doing that," Jared said. "Will you stop suggesting that? You've been suggesting that like every day for the last 7 years." She said, all right, fine. Well, I guess we'll just have to go to this specialist, huh? And George said, we will go to specialists and we fine. I'll just tell them what they want to hear. They'll leave us alone. We just say, go ahead and leave. Eric, George. Go ahead and leave, George. And don't worry about it. That's what they're going to say. She said, well, I'll trust you. But, if things go off the rail, you always have my demon powers to use. And George said, yes, I know. She said, well, prove it to me. Remind me what they are. What are my demon powers that you can use? I can make plants die. I can incite panic and terror in people. Um, and let's see. Come on. You don't remember the third power? The most important power of all? All right, I can camouflage myself as a camel. That's right. You can make yourself look like a camel. In fact, physically, you change into a camel, really. That makes it easier for me to ride you. You're inside of me, says George. How, how are you going to ride me? She goes, just remember, it might come in handy. He says, all right, fine. He tells parents, okay, I'm done with my conversation with Georgianne. Would you like to take me to the specialist now? And so they take him to a Catholic church. As he walks in, he starts feeling uncomfortable and kind of nauseous. And he stops. He's like, I'm thirsty. Let me get a drink from this drinking fountain. And his parents like, wait, John, that's not a drinking fountain. That's holy water. And it's too late. He already drank some of it. And as soon as it hits his belly, Georgianne screams, "Oh my God, ew, ew, ew. I hate holy water. It's the worst thing ever. I'd rather drink space station water than holy water." And George says, look, I don't like it either, because obviously a priest has been touching it or whatever, but it's what's here, so just deal with it. At least I'm not so thirsty anymore. And, as he's finishing up at the holy water fountain, he wipes his lips off, he turns around, and lo and behold, who's there but the priest? And the priest says, ahem. George says, oh, hello, Father Jacob, says the father. And he says, hello, Father Jacob. My name is Jard, and my parents seem to think there's something wrong with me. They want you to exorcise me or whatever. But I told them, first of all, I'm not even husky for my age, so why should I have to get any exercise? Now, I get it, priest. That was just a joke, okay? I understand the word is spelled differently. Number two, I told them, I do not have a demon inside of me. Obviously, look at me. I'm a perfectly normal little boy. Just because a couple of plants have died near me on a couple of occasions is not a reason to conclude that I have a demon inside of me. And the priest says, hold on. You just drank that holy water, right? And he's like, yeah, I did. And the priest says, well, and if you're able to drink holy water, you probably don't have a demon in you. Jared somewhat lied and said, actually, I found it very refreshing and tasty. It had a little extra flavor to it. And the priest says, oh, it's probably from my fingers. I use them to bless it and make it into holy water. And Jared asked him, well, do you have to put your fingers into the water to make it holy water? The priest said, you don't have to, but it's better that way. It's more holy. And he goes, okay, well, so you got any extra demony stuff you got to do to me or whatever? And the priest's like, yeah, let me just run through a few Latin exorcism things because your parents are paying for this, not just for us to chat. They're waiting outside now in the other room since we've relocated from the holy water fountain to my rectory. You want to go in my rectory? And you're like, yeah. So anyway, Jared was in the rectory with the Catholic priest. And the Catholic priest was reading some Latin stuff, saying, Demonus, Incitus Uus, Exodus, Exodus, and various other things. Georgianne was starting to feel kind of uncomfortable. She says, is it getting hot in here? To which Jared replied, so take off all your clothes? And she says, not the time for jokes, okay? I seriously feel like I'm having thermoregulation problems. Like it's too hot. And I think it might have to do with like Latin chanting. And Jared says, well, why would it make a difference whether you're chanting it in Latin or not? And she replies, well, you may not know this, but we demons have a natural allergy to Latin. It makes me break out in hives. Well, then am I going to have some kind of boils on my body or whatever? And she's like, well, we'll see because I'm not sure if my soul is experiencing them. I'm not sure if that transfers over, concretizes to your body or not. So as the priest is doing this Latin stuff, Jar starts checking himself for boils. And the priest says, what are you doing? He stops chanting. He says, what are you doing? And George says, I'm just checking for boils. So then the priest says, well, stop it. Okay, I'm trying to do a serious thing here. And you keep looking at your legs and stuff. And then Sharon says, you know what? I've had enough of this, okay? I do not have a demon in me. Even if I did, I'm sure she's fine. Even if I did and she would tell me to murder people all the time, it doesn't mean I'm going to listen to her. Wait a second, said the priest. Her? Are you telling me you have a female demon inside of you? And George said, I just told you I do not have any demon inside of me. But he was lying. And so the priest saw through his lies. So, oh, I see. A female demon. I was reading the wrong bit of Latin then. We have a different piece of Latin for female demons. And George says, can you just not, please, though? Because I'm afraid it might make me break out in boils. At this, Georgianne chimed in. Worse, if he reads that one, it's like the worst flow day of vaginal blood splash party ever. And George said, well, where am I going to bleed out of somewhere? And she's like, again, I'm not sure how this works, whether it's going to concretize or not. My soul is experiencing a menstrual cycle like you've never heard of before, and I need gush control. And the priest, who began chanting in Latin again, now the right thing, observed Jared apparently having some kind of back and forth with himself, and at that moment, Georgianne started feeling uncomfortable because of the chanting. She's like, oh my God, the cramps are terrible. I need to stay home from work today for sure. And George says, we don't have a job. I'm a 7-year-old boy, for God's sake. And she said, sorry, I was remembering a previous life. Anywho, it's really happy fun. Well, the priest notices that Jar's not really paying attention. He's having some kind of back and forth. He stops and says, what are you doing? And he says, well, I'm talking to myself about something. And he said, okay, so not to a demon? He said, no, I'm just talking to myself. He said, well, about what? About menstruation. Jar tells him, why would you talk to yourself about menstruation? Says the priest. And George says, it's just a subject I'm interested in. The priest says, no, you have a female demon in you, that's why. Over him chanting. So George begins checking to see if he's gonna menstruate or not. And he checks his butt, sort of like not obviously, just kind of like looks around behind himself. See if there's any blood on the back of his pants. No blood on the front. He doesn't want to take any chances. So he gets up and he's like, look, hey, stop with the chanting right for a second. And the priest says, what? Where are you going? What's going on here? I'm trying to get rid of your demon. He says, no, I know, I got you, but I don't know if you've been keeping track of time. We are well over the hour, and I don't want to impose upon you. You know, let's just call it for today. We can come back tomorrow if you want. The priest is like, well, I guess, but you know what? Maybe, wait, hold on. At this point, Jar's already walked out the door. So goes to his parents and says, okay, well, I'm cured. The priest says, let's go. And he tries to hurry them outside before the priest goes out. The priest goes out before they escape and he yells, George, what are you doing? You jump back here. When George has told his parents, he says, wait, no, listen, our house is on fire. We have to go right now. And so, how do you know the house is on fire? And George tells him, look, I just have an instinct for these kind of things. Let's go. And so the parents run out to the car and George gets in. And they drive away from the church back to their home. When they get there, the house is not on fire. And the parents said, George, you told us the house was on fire. We sped back here the whole time. And he's like, well, look, I could have sworn it was on fire. I just got this one wrong, okay? I mean, sometimes I'm wrong. I thought you said you had it correct. Just leave it at that, okay? George said, just leave it be. I just got it wrong. All right, we're home. We just go to bed. Everyone go to bed. And I was like, but it's 3 in the afternoon. I said, I don't care what time it is. You just go to bed. His parents says, why are you telling us to go to bed? He says, because that's what the priest said we have to do. Stand in for every time after an exorcism. Everybody in the family has to go right to bed. So the parents say, okay, well, I guess we have to. So they go to bed. But John did not actually go to bed. Okay. Instead, he goes to his room and prepares for what? Chapter 2, which is coming up in some later installment. He's going to run away from home as he originally planned. But, I don't want you to get too much of a teaser of the story ahead. Because it's sure to be filled with demony adventures. Anyway, maybe let's start now. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 of the story of Jar. So Jar listened to make sure his parents were actually asleep. And when he heard them snoring, he's like, all right, cool. They're asleep now. Even though it's 3 in the afternoon. Mission accomplished. And so he starts packing up a duffel bag and his backpack. He's got a knapsack and a rucksack as well. So he tries to pack those. And he does. He packs them successfully. And then he gathers his hat from the side of the room, puts it on his head, walks out, and he says, Georgianne, we're going to leave these people behind. I am not going to tolerate them trying to force you out of me with their Latin gibberish. And she says, well, have you considered killing them? And George says, Georgianne, I keep telling you, no. Stop. Do you not listen to me? I listen. I just think you're maybe want to keep all the options on the table. Well, murder is not one of those options. So just knock it off. And she said, okay, all right, fine. So they leave their home. He's only 7 years old. And he is heavily weighed down by a lot of bags that he's brought with him. You got a duffel bag, a backpack, a knapsack, a rucksack. He's also got a fanny pack on. So he's really kind of struggling with all this weight. And Georgia Hen says to him, listen, what we need to do, we need to steal a golf cart. And he starts, I don't want to steal anything, okay? Just, there's no, what? Is this a habit or what? Like, what drives you to want to be bad all the time? Try to tell me to be bad. I'm a demon, she says, but I'm also very practical. We need a golf cart because you have too many bags. If you're going to successfully run away from those people, you're going to need to move faster than a 7-year-old boy carrying 50 pounds of bags. So, John has to acknowledge this. This didn't make sense that his current snail's pace trying to lug all this luggage around was probably not going to work out very well. And he's like, well, we don't even live near a golf course. Where am I going to find a golf cart? She said, well, the reason I suggested it is because look over there. And Jared saw, he's just like 2 blocks from his house at this point, in the suburbs. And Jared saw, much to his amazement, there was a golf cart parked right in front of somebody's house. It was had the keys in it. It was still running, but there's nobody there. So he's like, well, Georgianne, it looks like you're going to get your way on this one. She said, well, it's your way too, because once you do something I tell you to, then you get extra powers. He said, I already have plenty of powers. I got the power to kill plants. I got the power I got the power to scare people away. I got the power to camouflage myself as a camel. And she said, that's it. That's how we'll steal this golf cart. So George turns into a camel and goes over to the golf cart in order to steal it. He says, wait a second. Wait a second, Georgianne. I bet as a camel, I can carry all of those bags. Even better than I can in a golf cart. She says, you're not thinking, George. You're not going to be able to pick them up with your camels. And George says, well, how am I supposed to steal a golf cart then with the same camels? And she said, just get in a golf cart. So George squeezes his camel body into the golf cart. Starts driving away with it. Somebody comes out and says, hey, what's going on? The camel's in my golf cart. He says, there's a camel in my golf cart. Get back here. They charge and drives away. But here's the problem. Yes, now he has a golf cart, but he left his bags back there. All of his bags, which was the reason why he wanted to steal the golf cart in the first place. But I'll tell you who's really happy about this is Georgianne. And after they've gotten a good distance away, she says, okay, listen, you got to change back into a person now. You're too conspicuous as the camel driving a golf cart. They're going to know immediately that's the golf cart right there that we need to catch. So George turned back into a person. He said, but we're still super conspicuous. She's like, why? Because nobody really drives golf carts around here. And he's going to call the cops. He's going to be like, somebody stole my golf cart. But, and then they're going to be like, okay, we'll find it. She said, no. He's going to say a camel stole my golf cart. So they're going to be looking for a golf cart with a camel on it. He's like, no, they're not. They're going to be looking for any golf cart because it's the only golf cart around here. The fact that it doesn't have a camel in it is not going to fool them somehow. And she said, oh, I thought it would. And he's like, well, that's why I don't put you in charge of planning. She's retorted with, well, you stole this golf cart, didn't you? And he said, touche. Anyway, now they had a golf cart. They were a little bit worried about the cops catching him. They could hear the sirens. And also, they needed to wait for a while They needed to go back to where they had left their bags, assuming somebody else hadn't taken their bags. Their bags were just full of clothes and food and water and stuff. Not any important, like their wallet. Like, John kept his wallet in his pocket, obviously, because that's where you keep your wallet. Anyway, but they still had to go back for their bags later. So they said, okay, well, let's find a hiding place where we can hide with the golf cart, where nobody will find us or the golf cart. So they drove around until they found this little area that wasn't may have been private property, but there wasn't any buildings on it or whatever. Thicket of trees. They could get you up this little dirt road. So they went there. They parked them among the trees. And George said, "Well, I listened to you, and look what a fine mess we've gotten ourselves into. Now we're parked in a golf cart in these trees. I'm a 7-year-old boy, and I don't even have my clothes in my bags or my jacket or anything. You know, if it gets cold, I mean, who knows when we're gonna be able to go back for all that stuff, and why? Because you insisted on stealing a golf cart." She said, "Well, I tell you what. Here's some good news for you. Even if we're caught with the golf cart, you're not going to get in trouble." He said, "Well, why not?" "Because a camel stole this golf cart. That's what the person's going to tell the cops." "Yeah," says George, "but the cops aren't going to believe that. They're gonna think the guy was hallucinating, or that maybe it was a person who looked a lot like a camel. They're not gonna believe an actual camel stole it. And who are they gonna blame when they find it? Whoever happens to be driving it around right now. Whoever happened to park it in the trees up here all suspiciously. And who's that?" Georgianne says, "Is it you?" And George says, "Yes, it is me. That's why I'm worried about it." She says, "Well, what I suggest is if you see any cops coming here or anybody else, maybe just kill them right away." And George said, "No, Georgina, you need to stop suggesting murder as a solution to everything. We don't even have a problem at the moment. We just have a situation that's much worse than it was before I followed your suggestion." "But we have a golf cart," Regina says. And George says, "I know. Now let's just go to sleep. We'll deal with this in the morning." And Georgina says, "But it's only 4 in the afternoon." And George says, "I know, but just go to sleep, all right? I'm going to go to sleep." And he laid down in the golf cart and tried to sleep. He was unable to sleep. He was just tossing and turning. He's like, "Oh, Jesus, fuck. I cannot sleep because someone's going to steal my bags." And you go back and get them. So Georgina says, or Georgina is her name, first and middle name. She says, "Okay, well, can I just sleep while you do this?" "No," says George. "I have to get up and just, you do too. Now let's go get those bags. At least we don't have to walk there." She said, "We can't drive in the golf cart. They'll get to see us." And he said, "In the purpose of getting the golf cart to carry the bags in it?" So that was the purpose. But now the situation has changed. We got a hot golf cart. We got to lay low for a while. Then we can move around with our bags in the golf cart. He's like, "I guess I'll walk back there then?" So exactly. Now let's get going. I'll bring the snowshoes. He said, "We're not walking on any snow. Okay, just knock it off." So they walk all the way back to get their bags. And Jared picks up all of his bags and starts walking back towards the golf cart. And he hears from behind him, George, George, what are you doing? He looks behind him, and it's his parents' friend, who also happens to be the principal of his school, Mr. Jurgerson. Mr. Jurgerson, what are you doing here? Hi, how's it going? Said George. Mr. Jurgerson says, what are you doing? You got all these bags, and you're walking so slowly. And George says, yeah. This is part of my workout regimen. I call it bag walk. Each of these bags is filled with heavy things like dirt and trees and rocks. And Jerusalem says, oh, I see. Well, where are you headed ultimately? Oh, just a big loop. I do here, get some exercise, but I come back to the house. And where do you keep all those things you're carrying? You keep them outside in your exercise shed? And Charlie's like, look, why are you asking me so many goddamn questions? I'm just a normal 7-year-old boy with a bunch of bags walking down the street. Leave me be. Mr. Jurgensen shrugs, says to himself, well, I guess the boy knows what he's doing. I'm just old Mr. Jurgensen. Oh. Then, of course, George manages eventually to walk all the way back to the golf cart. And he's very tired because he's like, oh, Jesus. Thank God he made it all the way back. I'm a little bit worried about Mr. Jurgensen because he saw us, you know. And Georgina's like, Jurgensen, he's not going to live past 6 p.m. tonight. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm used to you telling me to murder people, but that's not what that sounded like. She said, oh, don't worry. I took care of him for you. I shot a little bit of a poison in him when you weren't looking. Well, how did you shoot it into him? What did you use to shoot with? She said, I don't want to even tell you. What do you mean you don't want to tell me? Well, you're not going to like it if I tell you. Just tell me what you shoot him with. I use a syringe. We don't even have a syringe. Right? You're lying again. I should never even listen to you in the first place. Now I've got a golf cart. I've got a bunch of bags. And probably sounds like Mr. Jurgensen's going to be dead pretty soon. Well, I'm not 100% sure I got him or not. What do you mean? Not 100%. Well, my aim could have been off. I could have missed part of him. Well, how could you, I don't even know what your delivery mechanism is. Okay, fine. I use ladybugs to deliver deadly poison to people. They really cross the line like that guy did. He didn't cross the line that much. What do you, a ladybug? Well, people like to eat ladybugs. So if you make them poisonous, you're going to kill a lot of people. He said, people don't like to eat ladybugs. What are you talking about? She says, watch. And they turn around. And Mr. Jurgensen is still standing there, close enough for them to see. And sure enough, he's eating a bunch of ladybugs. And she said, just watch though. Shortly thereafter, starts having convulsions and Lance falls on the ground and dies. There's oh my God. This story started. I was just a normal, happy 7-year-old boy enjoying my life with my demon friend, Georgina. Before I knew it, my parents taking me to a priest to try to get rid of my demon friend. And I protected you like a good friend. Now look what you've done. You turned me into a thief and a murderer. What do I have to show for it? A golf cart and a bunch of bags. And the bags I didn't even get as a consequence of doing any of this. They're incidental to the whole thing. No, they're not incidental. They're motive. That's why we stole the golf cart, remember? To carry the bags. We don't even know where we're going. We're running away from home, remember? Your parents trying to exercise me. Look, in war there are going to be some casualties. We're not at war, he says to her. I'm just a sad little boy with blood on my hands. And then he slumps into his golf cart, sobs. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo, boo. I can't find out what's going to happen until chapter 3. Because that was the end of chapter 2 of the story of Jard and his travails. Chapter 3 is pretty short. Jard continued on, grew up, and became a genocidal dictator. The end. Oh, well, that's quite a bedtime story. I guess I could go to sleep now. I don't really feel like doing anything else besides going to sleep. So, good night, everybody. Oh, yes, Mr. Kenny. What a good Kenny you are. Yes, Daddy loves you. And he thinks you're very soft. Yes, you're my softness friend. Right. Oh, yes, what a good softness. You're such a good kitty. Yes, you are. And Daddy loves. Oh, yeah. And he appreciates how much you contribute to the team, even when you're a pain in the ass. Yes, you're a very good kitty. Daddy knows. That's why Daddy pets you. With pets of appreciation. Let me validate you with my pets. Oh, yes. You're a good kitty. Right. Oh, right. Right. I'm curious what happens to him after he's so upset. He's in a golf cart, you know. Mr. Jurgerson is dead. What's Jar gonna do? Now, sure, they can't pin the murder on him exactly, as far as he can tell. But he doesn't really know because Georgianne, Georgiarina won't, won't tell him her exact delivery mechanism. How exactly she killed him. Oh, she did tell him it was ladybugs, right? Well, I guess he's off the hook for that too. He can just say, well, look, I didn't know he was going to eat a bunch of ladybugs. Say, yeah, but you're the one who poisoned the ladybugs. And he's like, if you have proof that I wouldn't poison a bunch of ladybugs, enough for them to be poisonous but still fly around, I want to see it, you know? So I guess one thing that is going to happen is after he kind of wakes up in the golf cart, now at least he has clothes so he can sleep there more comfortably. He's going to realize, well, they can't catch me. They can't really get me on the murder. Besides being a 7-year-old boy with absolutely no motive, um, he died from eating poisonous ladybugs. And so even if they're too tough a case to make, you know, that you have sufficient reason to suspect he's going to eat the ladybugs, you know, that make it actually a means of murder. That's kind of special knowledge Georgina had as a demon. Okay, I'm going to go to sleep right now, so you guys just chat amongst yourselves until the phone runs out of electricity. wonderful kitty. Yes, you are. A very wonderful kitty. And Daddy loves you. Yes, he does. Oh, yes. It's okay, kitty. Right.
Edit this now. Boy.